Hi, welcome to InFocus, a closer look at human relations. I'm your host, Bill Bell. Today, we are talking with our sponsoring organization, the Cincinnati Human Relations Commission. We are here to learn what they've done during the second quarter. With us today is Executive Director, Dr. Erica King-Betts. Dr. King-Betts, it's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And we just want to basically find out what's going on with CHRC and just, talk to you about your thing. So thank you again for being here. And I want to start out with, you had a luncheon, and you want to tell us about the luncheon?
Yes, we had a very successful luncheon. Every year we host either a luncheon or a dinner. This year's luncheon was at Music Hall, and we were celebrating 70 years as the voice of the community. And the city manager, Milton Dehoney, was our keynote speaker, and he gave an amazing speech on encouraging others to listen to the voices of all of the community members, regardless if you are the CEO of a company, if you are an elected official, if you are a business owner, whoever you are. You could just be just a community member. Everyone has a voice, and everyone should be listened to. We also honored 3 youth with our Youth Services Award for having outstanding community service, as well as being active in their schools and just being good stewards in our community. We also honored 3 adults with the Marilyn G. Pope Diversity Award. Alicia Tidwell from Lazadica, who's their Director of Diversity and Inclusion. Okay. We also honored Peter Strange, who is Executive Director of Messer. And we also honored Mr. Mallory, no we didn't. I'm trying to think of the last person. It'll come to me, and I'll go back to that.
Okay.
And we also honored with our Bishop Herbert Thompson Award, we honored Louise and Judge S. Arthur Spiegel, as well as Mr. Mallory Sr. And the other diversity award was David Singleton from the Ohio Justice and Policy Center.
Okay.
I knew it would come back to me.
Okay.
But we had a lot of wonderful honorees. There are a lot of wonderful people in our community doing great diversity work, and we were very proud to honor them in front of 300 attendees this year.
Now, I heard something about your event.
Yes.
That a former council member did.
Yes.
Something about shoes and not being on.
Yes, yes.
Can you talk about that?
Former council member Cecil Thomas introduced our keynote speaker, and he got up to the podium, and then he talked about his first introduction to Milton was when they were doing his interview, and then he talked about Milton knocked his socks off, and so we didn't realize he was standing up there with no shoes or socks on, and he held his feet up to say that our city manager knocked his socks off. So it surprised everyone,
okay,
but brought a good chuckle. But Cecil was wonderful,
okay,
and I just couldn't believe he did it.
Okay, were his feet like, were they?
They're fine.
Okay, all right. Didn't know if they were, friendly or
they're fine.
Ready. I mean, you don't want a doctor coming up saying, "Give me a call after something like that."
No, he was fine.
And now you also just in reviewing some of the things you've done, there's a Hamilton County has a Fatherhood Initiative.
Yes.
And can you talk about that?
Mm-hmm. A couple of years ago, the agency applied for a grant through the Ohio Fatherhood Coalition and the Cincinnati Human Relations Commission. We received that grant opportunity for them. And we were required to pull together agency providers, other key stakeholders in the community, and do a series of events with them. So we've had several forums, one of which was a provider forum. So finding out what fatherhood providers are here in the greater Cincinnati community. And then we were asked to pull together a stakeholder luncheon. So that would be funders, elected officials, as well as other area providers, so that we can bring everyone together to see how we can give fathers more of a voice in Hamilton County. And CHRC's role would be to serve as the connector of these agencies and affiliate organizations so that we can be the hub.
Okay. And in your, I guess you're the topic or your research about fatherhood, you said give them a voice.
Yes.
With that voice, what would they say?
One of the things that we're finding through these provider forums is we're hearing a lot of fathers say that either they want to be engaged in their children's lives, but they don't know how, or they may be residing in the same household as their child, but they really don't know what being a good father means, because either they didn't have a role model, or they want to be more actively engaged with their children, but they just lack the skills to do it. And there are a lot of agencies out here in Hamilton County who have wonderful fatherhood programs, like Talbot House has a great program, as well as the Community Action Agency. So those are just a couple of examples of programs that we could list in one place. So when fathers say, I have a question about, how can I work on my parenting skills? Who can I go and see? We would list who the contacts would be. Or if they have questions about child support, what do I do if I, have an arrearage? What do I need to do if I need to go back to court? We could refer them to the Child Support Division over at Jobs and Family Services, or if they need more legal advice, we could refer them over to legal aid.
Okay, so if there's like a custody dispute or something of that nature, this organization can help you with that, is what you would tell. But they would seek out CHRC. Okay. Okay. Now, again, and just saying, you've had a busy year so far.
Yes.
You also had like a minority health fair?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
We also received funding from the Minority Health Commission to put together a health fair, and we held that at a local downtown YMCA, so that was very central to the downtown community. And what we focused on was on substance abuse and mental health, and so we had representatives from NAMI there as well, and so the focus was on mental health, substance abuse, and violence in our community.
Okay.
It was a lot.
Well, it is a lot, but
do
you think that everything is sort of interconnected? Do you think it's just one thing that sets off another thing, or maybe there's a violence incident and you find out that the person may be on substance or maybe have a mental illness or concern?
Yes.
So it makes sense that everybody will sort of work together.
Exactly.
Okay, and then how would you, okay, so this happens.
Yes.
Okay, and the way I see it is that you would have maybe multiple stakeholders in that. You have family, you have the victim, you have coworkers, and then you have the person that may have, I guess, committed a crime or be the person with mental health or things of that nature. So your attendees for that, what did they represent? Were they people that wanted help, or were they people that provided help, or it was all that?
It was a little bit of both. We had a lot of community members there who just wanted to gain more information and knowledge about mental health, what resources are out there, if that person or someone that they cared about had mental health or substance abuse issues. And they also wanted to know what the connection was to violence in the community, because a lot of times we just talk about violence as just being one big blanket statement that we have violence in our community. But when you take a deeper look at what's going on with violence in our community, there are some acts that occurred as a result of substance abuse. Somebody was under the influence of a substance and made poor choices, or there was somebody who did have a mental health issue and they committed a crime. So needing to take a deeper look at what actually is going on so you can provide the appropriate help.
Well, and it's something, I did a study a few years ago, and I looked at the homicides in the city of Cincinnati as part of that, and I noticed that with there was different types of victims. I looked at victims that had alcohol in their system at the time they died, and victims that had narcotics, heroin, marijuana, cocaine in their system. What I found was that the victims that had alcohol in their system, the suspects were known, because alcohol is a social drug. But the victims that had cocaine or marijuana or heroin in their system during a homicide, the suspects were not known. Because you got one that is sort of celebrated. I mean, there's commercials on that celebrate, alcohol, and the other one is sort of just a secret thing. It's just a whole another realm of society.
That's very true.
There was mention of the Green Day group, and it's a group that you've partnered with for social awareness. What type of projects are you guys working on?
One of our board members, Donnie Young, he's also our communications chair. He is one of the founders of the Green Day group. And so what they did is they host parties all around the greater Cincinnati community. and their focus is on being green. And one of the things that they did for CHRC is for the entire month of May, they promoted CHRC events at all of their different parties and venues and things like that. And then they gave a portion of their proceeds to CHRC to help expand our outreach efforts.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's a
That
great
was great.
relationship.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And they approached us, and we saw this as being a wonderful opportunity to get our message out about the agency and to expand our outreach efforts.
Okay. And in your outreach, there's also, I guess, a summer youth employment program. So does that help fund this program?
No, we received some funding from the City of Cincinnati, and we are currently hosting 10 youth in CHRC's offices, and they're doing a lot of work with every single staff member. So I have some assigned that are working with me, that are helping me to plan a conference. They're helping us also to organize some of our historical information about the agency, but they're working very hard with us over the next 7 months. But we're part of the larger summer youth employment program that the mayor has been promoting, and Councilwoman Simpson has been directly involved in. So we're partnered with the Urban League as well as the Community Action Agency, and they are the contract funders for the youth. So they get paid.
How were the youth selected? Did they?
They have to apply.
They have to.
So they all had to arrive at the Urban League. There was a date and time where they were expected to go and start filling out the applications. And I know that they had more youth fill out applications than they had jobs available. So they went through the entire application process, and then they were assigned to agencies based on their skill sets and interests.
So they actually looked at the background of each youth and said you would be a good fit for our organization.
So they did some matching, definitely for the youth, and so I always say I think we got the cream of the crop because we have 10 wonderful youth who are working with us. They've been working very diligently over the past week, and we're really excited to have them on board.
Fantastic. Well, we have to take a break.
Okay, great.
So we're going to take a break, and when we return, we'll continue our conversation with Dr. King Betts. See you in a moment. Welcome back to InFocus, a closer look at human relations. Prior to our break, we were talking with the Executive Director of the Cincinnati Human Relations Commission, Dr. Erica King Betts. And Dr. Betts, thanks for staying with us. One of the questions I have is about a conference. I hear that CHRC was selected to host a conference in 2013. And can you talk about that? I understand it's like human rights or human workers' rights or something of that nature. Can you talk about that?
Yes. The Board of Trustees for the National Association of Human Rights Workers selected the Cincinnati Human Relations Commission to host the Midwest Regional Conference. So I reached out to the executive director of this national organization, let them know about the history of CHRC, about all of the work that we are doing as an agency, and really sold that idea of all of the hard work that CHRC is doing, as well as the greater Cincinnati community, and how this would be a really great fit for this conference. And so they selected the agency to host this Midwest Regional Conference, and it's going to be on August the 8th and August the 9th. We're going to have the conference down at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center, which we think is a perfect fit. And the Westin Hotel is also one of our corporate sponsors, so all of the attendees can stay right there in front of beautiful Fountain Square at the hotel. So we're very excited to host this 2-day conference. We've sent out the save the date. The save the date is also on CHRC's website, so at www.chrc.org. So anyone can go to the website to find out more information about the conference. And then also we're going to open up registration on July the 1st. So there'll be more information on the website about how do you register for the conference, what the cost is going to be, what are the breakout sessions, who's going to be the keynote speaker. So right now the agency is working very diligently to get all of those pieces in place. And we know we're going to have a really wonderful conference. And we're really excited about bringing in other human relations, civil rights, human rights organizations so that we can all be under the same roof, having a discussion about what are some of the contemporary human and civil rights struggles that we're facing in 2013. So it'll be a great conversation and a great springboard for CHRC to enhance our current programs and initiatives. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great conference.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now it's I understand that you guys have done something with the Episcopal Church in terms of surveys and community outreach. Can you talk about that?
The Episcopal Church, the National Episcopal Church, is looking at the state of race and racism in the United States. And what they've done is the Cincinnati chapter has reached out to Cincinnati as well as some other organizations to distribute surveys. So we've been distributing surveys online. We've placed them on all of our social media sites as well as the website, sent them out to our partners and affiliates, and as well as sent out hand copies as well, trying to get a good feel for the pulse of race relations in the Cincinnati community, and then sending that back to the national church as they start to put together what is the state of race in the nation.
Really?
And they're going to be hosting a webcast in November. The exact date escapes me. I believe it's November the 15th at 1 o'clock. So there'll be more information about that on our website. But anyone can tune in to hear this webcast so that you can hear what the results of this national study is on the state of race in the United States. But one of the interesting things is I had a conversation this morning with a representative from the Cincinnati chapter about what can we do in the greater Cincinnati community to have more conversations and forums around race, racial profiling, race relations, all of those in Cincinnati. So we're going to be putting together some ideas on whether there can be forums here in the Cincinnati community where people can come out, voice concerns, give suggestions and ideas on how we can work to improve race relations in greater Cincinnati.
Now you also do, the office does a community assessment needs. Is that along the same lines?
It is. Anyone can go to the website, and we have a needs assessment on our website, and people can go in and they can fill out information as to, this is what I feel like the needs are in our community. What is the agency that can address those? Do we have any partners that can help to fulfill that need? What's going on in the different 52 neighborhoods that make up Cincinnati? So anyone can fill that out. Also, when we're out in the community, like we were just recently at the Juneteenth celebration, we pass out those community needs assessments. We pass them out at events. We're always trying to get a good pulse for what's going on in the Cincinnati community and how we can be of service.
Well, you mentioned the Juneteenth, and for people that might not be aware of that, can you explain what the Juneteenth is?
Juneteenth is a celebration regarding the end of slavery.
Okay.
And they always have that every year here in Cincinnati.
Okay. So that's good that you were there.
Yes.
So that's a lot that you've done in the first 2 quarters of the year.
Yes.
So what's your plans for quarter 3?
We have a lot. I mean, as an agency, we continue to grow. I've been here for 10 months now, so I'll be here for officially 1 year in August. So I guess I'll have to stop saying I'm new at that point. But starting in the 3rd quarter, we're starting to take a look at our 70th celebration. We actually turned 70 in the 4th quarter, but we're going to be planning a huge event to have in the 4th quarter that celebrates us turning 70 years. So that's going to be one of the big focuses for us, as well as continuing to have forums and conversations and dialogue around discrimination, prejudice, and the greater Cincinnati community.
In your time period, your 10 months, you've managed to just do a lot. Do you see a need to have more people serve? I mean, in other words, it's good to have these dialogues, but
Yes.
is there a part of society that you'd like to develop a partnership with in the 3rd quarter?
I think that there are a lot of times we want to continue to reach out to our current partner agencies and affiliates on, how we can continue to have conversations about bringing about change. We also want to continue to, engage our elected officials who impact policy and procedure changes. We also want to, continue to engage those community members who feel like they don't have a voice in the community. We want to reach out to them as well. We go out into the community we go to the community meetings that happen on an ongoing basis, because we want to know what's going on with all the different community councils. So everyone's voice matters to us, and that's why we exist as an agency, is because over the years we've always listened to what the community's needs are, and tried to address, each of them as much as we can.
Okay.
And we also want to engage that person who I consider them to be the naysayer, that person who sits back and they just want to say, this organization or that organization isn't doing anything. There needs to be more of that. We need to hear that person's voice as well. If there are more things that they feel should be done in the community, let us know what those things are. Let's talk about ways that we can accomplish that as well.
So it's good that a person that they can use, because you have Facebook and...
We have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have a website. They can call the office at area code 513-352-3237. So there are many methods in which we can be contacted if someone has some feedback that they would like to give to us, or areas of improvement, or areas where they feel like, certain communities, members' voices aren't being heard. Whatever the issue might be, if they're being discriminated against, if there are, hate crimes, whatever it might be that's happening in the community, let us know.
Now, I guess a person can also make a suggestion. So if they want to have some type of event, would your office help them to make that a reality?
Yes, we receive requests all the time from partner agencies saying that, we're going to be hosting this forum. Would CHRC be interested in lending their name of support? And we can definitely do that. We post information about forums that are going on all the time on our website, so that the community is always aware of what cultural events are going on. If there's a forum about race, whatever it might be, we post that so that the community can attend.
Okay, well that's fantastic to be able to support other organizations. Okay, that's cool. So, well, I think we're at the end of our time here, but I'd like to thank you for coming out and doing the good work you do, and being a great sponsor of this program. And you've been watching InFocus, a closer look at human relations, and I'm Bill Bell, and we'll see you next time.